I'm Baby Nelly, and I think Wente is one of the most wonderful things there is. That's why I'm doing this series, Wonderful Walks with Welly. Nelly. This right here, this is wood. And wood comes from trees. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. This is a Douglas fir tree. This is a kind of coniferous tree in our beautiful Douglas fir forest. That's where most of these trees are here at Wente. If you're looking at a tree at Wente, it's most likely Douglas fir, but not always. We have some other kinds of trees. There's a lot of different kinds of trees. You see, you can tell that it's a Douglas fir because of the, let's see, where's some good ones? Right here. Because of these leaves right here, and that the cones that they leave on the ground. Here's some Douglas fir cones. These are all ways that we can identify trees. See, trees can be identified by their shape, by their bark, and by their leaves, and by their cones, along with a couple of other things too. This right here is a tetanus farm. This isn't natural, and it's from old benches that used to be here. But it's still pretty wonderful if you ask me. This is a pine tree. More specifically, probably a lodgepole pine tree. They like to grow near lakes and whatnot, and in this area. Now, we don't have as many pine trees here at Wente, but they do exist, as you can see. Now, you can tell that the bark is different from the Douglas fir, and that the needles up above look different as well. It's a different kind of tree. These pine trees can also be commercially valuable, but not as much as Douglas fir. It's pretty wonderful. Here, we are in the tooting redwood grove, named after the redwood trees that were probably planted here. Redwood trees are also commercially valuable, but they are more expensive than Douglas fir because of the spongy bark that is very hard to cut. As a matter of fact, the redwood lumber company that is near Wente has to replace their chains that are laced with diamonds every day because they just go through so much spongy bark. Redwood trees, unlike Douglas fir trees, are more resilient to weathering. So if you needed some outdoor structure, you may want to go with some redwood rather than some Douglas fir wood because it'll last longer. And that's not even mentioning the pressure treated wood that a lot of people like to use. Sure is wonderful indeed, no doubt about that. This is critter country. Now for critters are pretty wonderful, but you sort of just want to look at their wonder from a distance, you know? They're that kind of wonderful. Better be careful. This is Big Jim. Big Jim is a Douglas fir tree, just like the one that we pointed out earlier. But it's a lot older. It's like 500 to 600 years old. It is old enough that they didn't cut it down back when this place was a logging area. It's pretty wonderful, isn't it? Pretty wonderful indeed. Right here, we can see some burn marks on the bark. That's because at some point or another, there was a forest fire around here. And so, a little misconception about forest fires is that forest fires destroy all the trees. And though they do destroy trees, big, thick boys like this tend to survive because they're thicker and their bark is more resilient. It's pretty neat indeed. Trees are a lot like muscles. The girthier they are, the healthier and cooler and more resilient they are. Bigger trees, bigger ego, bigger possibilities.